Hello, my name is Stefan Vasquez.
Hello, my name is Eric Jose Vidal Martinez, and we are Group 4. And we would like to compare the high art to the rise of the graffiti. First, I would like to explain what high arts and graffiti are. High arts are a period of work that aspires to the highest standards of the time. It is created and is usually executed with sophistication. Of course, these are pieces of art that leave a long lasting impression and can be defined as one of a kind. And the first thing that comes to our mind when we talk about high arts are elite artists, the likes of Van Gogh or Da Vinci or Picasso. I would like to explain some of the major paintings that these artists created, starting with Da Vinci, with his most famous work for human history, the Mona Lisa, where he produced the illusion of profound deep and showed an impressive mastery over human anatomy. Then we also have Van Gogh with his beautiful painting, The Starry Night, which was created with his memory alone since he was making it at dawn. And it was made during his time in a mental asylum, which is really remarkable for him. And of course, we have Picasso's Guernica, where he depicted the horrors of war, where he combines the cubist structure that makes the painting look more realistic and contradictory. He also uses a surrealistic imagery that helps to add to the sentiment of suffering and war. And of course, on the other hand, we have graffiti, a form of art that differs from the traditional ones that we are accustomed to, since this one uses walls and public alleys as its canvas, and is usually tilted of vandalism because of that. And although it's relatively new in the eyes of the public, the roots of graffiti extend to the times when we didn't have a language, dating back to the Ice Age with the first paintings that the caveman did in those times because of the nature of graffiti of being in public places and the artistic idea of creators like Keith Haring that showed sexual content in his artworks in public places. And of course, despite this, he also references for safe sex and HIV awareness, which kinda helps in his ideas, but is still not good enough to be in a public alley. I mean, and in more recent events, we have Banksy, one of the most important graffiti painters in the world. Um, he operates in many countries of Europe, and recently he moved to Ukraine to make some paintings against the horrible war that is going on in the streets in Kiev and other cities. There are still graffitis of him. He mostly uses them to express how the child and the family in general suffers because of these horrible atrocities. He also makes works in the London Zoo, where he proclaims for the freedom of animals like penguins and elephants. And both graffiti and high arts have their roles in society, of course, and they are reliable exemplifications of the time they were created in. And if wall graffiti can be considered an act of vandalism, the fact is that the world is progressing, and the art reflects that progression. That increase in creative freedom, as shown in Picasso's Guernica, being one of the most relevant anti-war protests, and the sexual problems as shown in Haring's artwork, and of course the bold movements of Banksy, who went as far as going to a country that is in war to express his ideas. And now we would like to continue with our conclusions on the topic.
There are major events that shaped how the world and its people perceive art, and one of great importance was World War II massive use of bomb raids against civilian targets, at which point we understand what instilled one of the first anti-war paintings in the world, Picasso's Guernica, where he depicted the horrors that the Nazi regime inflicted upon the people of Europe. And of course, as the world moved on with movements that encouraged liberty and art reflects that change, with the rise of the as a shining example. With the world that has moved on from wars of two world wars, the women's civil rights, and successful protests from the civil rights movement, the world was heading into a more positive direction. And we can find the first fruits in the form of Keith Haring and his graffiti with literal sexual content on the streets of New York City. Things that were forbidden and highly punishable in the times of Da Vinci and Van Gogh were now center of the public eye. Given these points, it is safe to assume that the arts will keep evolving and developing in close contact with the situation that the world is in. The essence of art is how we humans express ourselves, and because of this, it will always change and find new ways to exist. High arts, or graffiti, is all an illusion of how the individual of the time perceives his surroundings.